And on your mother's side, you had Sugar, which you named, but you can't remember why.
No, I'd have to ask my mom. I can't remember why I named her that, but maybe she called me that, and then I decided to call her that. But
what was Sugar like?
Sugar she was eccentric and creative, and she was crafty and
You mean crafty like she conned people?
No, 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 not crafty like tricky. No.
So hello, welcome back. Glad you came back.
Thanks for joining us.
We're excited. One episode already on Spotify. Waiting to hear back from iTunes, and you guys made that happen. So the first episode was live, recorded live anyway.
Right.
It was a studio audience.
It was so fun.
Yeah, it was Deanne's 50th birthday, if you didn't get a chance to hear all that. But it was her 50th birthday, and it was the launch of our podcast. It was part of a birthday gift that I wanted for her because she's such a fan of those podcasts.
Yeah, I didn't know he was doing it. It was so cool.
And so we had it all set up, and part of the purpose, I want to expand a little bit because we did talk about somewhat in the first episode, but in being grandparents, you had this idea in your head of what your grandparents were. And it's probably the same thing as parents. It's just, it was so long ago when we were
true.
parents of infants that we did, we thought about how we wanted to be parents and what we wanted to do for our children, maybe that our parents did and maybe differently than our parents did. Because, we were kids and we thought we knew better than them, right?
Right.
And not today's kids, though. They don't
No. No.
But anyway, so we thought, because Deanne was such a fan of podcasts.
That's true. I did
and
love
then
a podcast.
we started doing research on things because our kids had things that they wanted us to do as grandparents and the way they wanted us to be. So, obviously at first we were like upset and
mildly upset.
And we, because we didn't maybe weren't going along with their plan.
Right.
Because it's not what was going in our lives during those times, or that we saw anything from, parents that we were involved in throughout that time either. So it's different.
Right. Yeah.
Everything's different.
Oh, yeah. Everything's evolved and changed over the years, and certain expectations that are expected now weren't back then.
I was having a conversation with one of our clients a couple of months back, and we were talking about like when my kids were coming in, we thought about putting them in private school or putting them into like a Catholic school. But one of my big feelings about that was that they wouldn't get exposed to all different types of people. Right. And I felt like that it was important for them when they got into the workforce that they had to know how to get along with people from different places, types, faiths, everything, And so we had selected not to do that, And when in talking to him, because my first thought would be that because today so many schools, even public schools, are offering now homeschooling online.
That's true. There are many burgeoning companies that offer online schooling at a cost. But it's more convenient, especially when you have a child with possibly a disability or ADHD and you want to put them in a school setting. So
and more than ever before, kids seem to have some challenges with just communicating in any size group whatsoever.
Right.
If they have social anxiety. And
it gives them the opportunity. They can also, they're doing it online and they're doing it in front of a camera, but they're not sitting in front of a classroom. So
my first thought there was like, well, they need to be in a social environment, and then being the backwards thinking of an old man, I guess, that the reality of that is, and what this client who's a doctor told me, he said, well, that's not the way everyone communicates today.
Right, that's true.
Everyone communicates through social media, on online, so why shouldn't they be educated that same way?
Yeah, that's true.
So I don't know. Maybe that that's thoughts for another show. We can talk about. But those are just kind of the ways that you have to look at the world differently today.
That's true.
And us being the forward-thinking grandparents.
That's right, we are.
We decided that, well, hey, you know what? We should do some research.
Right?
We should find out, what is going on. How do we become the kind of grandparents we want to become, and also probably even, bring along some of the history from what our grandparents or even our parents who are great grandparents now, and our grandparents and great grandparents from the past.
Yeah.
So we want to tie all these generations together to start to find a way. And this is where you come in too, because we want to hear your stories.
Right.
Tell us
your experiences.
The happy ones, the fun ones,
You can include the sad. Doesn't always have to be funny.
Yeah, right. Doesn't have to be. As you can tell us some of the things that maybe your grandparents did or saw the other grandparents did when you were growing up that made you think, well, I'm never going to be like that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So in doing so, kind of one of the things we thought about was kind of identifying, I had my grandparents were different, very different. Mm-hmm. From the standpoint of, on my mom's side, I felt I was probably really close to them because, I was around both of my grandparents a lot, like at least probably every week, if not, it was every other week, something like that. So on my mother's side, though, her family was more, they were more, what's the word I'm looking for? They were more...
formal?
No, not at all. They were more...
The opposite. Okay.
Yeah.
Relaxed.
They were more... oh, gosh, now why am I not... I'm having a grandpa moment, I guess.
I don't know the word you're looking for. I'm sorry.
Well, they were more affectionate.
Oh, well, they were just warm.
Yeah, they were a lot more affectionate. They were, they were huggy, touchy,
lovey,
playful, tickly, all that kind of stuff. And my grandparents on the other side, although my grandmother was very warm and friendly and loving, and her biggest way probably of being more affectionate was making sure she cooked and we ate.
I've heard those stories.
What we need, what she thought we should eat, when we should eat, and all that kind of good stuff. Mm-hmm. And my grandfather on my dad's side, I barely knew. Mm-hmm. I don't think, we'll talk about it another time, but a little more. But I don't know that in the whole time that we even had what I would consider today to be a conversation. Mm-hmm.
Right. I don't know if our generation really ever had like serious conversations with our grandparents. I don't know if that was something that many did. I don't know. That's something to research.
I did, and I think that with my parents' side especially, and I did with my grandmother as much as I could because we had a little bit of a language barrier. Oh yeah. She primarily spoke Spanish, and we didn't grow up learning Spanish, but we knew bits and pieces. So there was conversations. It just wasn't in the way that I had hoped to be the kind of grandpa with our grandchildren. And, and I think we described it a little bit before, but we have 7 kids.
Yes, 7 kids.
I didn't put you through all those pregnancies, but...
No, he didn't, thank you.
We have a combined family that we've been married long enough now that we look at each of our children as if they were ours. Not stepchildren anymore. And they range from 35 to... 24, and 4 girls and 3 boys, and now those have given us 4 grandchildren.
4 grandchildren.
And we are hoping, our hope is that our home becomes more of one of those. And I had this with my grandparents, that I didn't feel like I had to knock on the door to go in. It was an extension of my home. You're thinking?
Yeah, ours wasn't like that.
Yeah.
A little bit more, knock before you come in, to just walk in.
Well, ladies first. So we'll talk about on this episode a little bit more about your grandparents, maybe, okay. And from this, in talking about our grandparents, and it's a lot different dichotomy, because both of my grandparents were married to each other forever. No other person in their lives, even after one of them passed. Right. They were still, that was it.
Yeah.
And today you're looking at multiples of other people who are grandparenting along with you. So that's another whole nother show that we'll get to
Yeah,
at some point. But it's things
definitely.
that you have to be aware of, cognizant of, in the sense that you have to be accepting,
Right.
understanding,
Very. Yeah.
knowing that you have to share all these times and that your
holidays,
grandchild
birthdays.
is getting exposed to so many different ways of life out there.
True. Very true.
So your grandparents, now I know, I think the only one of your grandparents that I had the opportunity to meet was your grandfather on your dad's side.
Right. That was my, well,
Hi, I'm Stevie
I'm Deanne.
with
Being Grandparents.
It's a podcast we've been doing now for over 5
5
years.
years.
And it's been a lot of fun sharing stories with you. And one of the things that we love most is reading stories.
At least I do.
Definitely to our grandkids. So we decided that it's time for us to create our own book series. And we're starting the first one with kind of a true story.
It is a true story. It's a very sweet story about going golfing with Grandpa.
And it's called Golf with Grandpa.
Ow.
I took our grandson out for the first outing together, and at the end of the whole experience of him playing with the animals and chasing the geese and doing everything else, I said, "What was your favorite thing?" He said, "Well, spending time with you."
So sweet.
And you're going to find it on Amazon, Barnes & Noble,
where books are sold.
okmoviestream.com, and wherever books are sold.
Thanks.
My grandparents had nicknames. So my dad's dad was Big Papa, and my grandmother was Nani on my dad's side. And Nani came from, I think, a cousin or something.
Did she come out of one of those closets?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Like Narnia?
Yeah, Narnia. No. Nani.
Sorry.
N-A, and I don't know how to
Okay,
spell
all
it.
right.
Don't ask me how to spell it. I don't know. so one of my cousins, I don't know which one, and I guess had tried to say, she said naughty or something like that, and he couldn't say Nani, so he said Nani. So that's where Nani came from. I don't remember which cousin that is, but anyway, so yeah. And then my mom's parents, my grandparents were Little Papa and Sugar, and I named Sugar, and I don't remember where I got that from, but you can ask my mom someday when she's on the show.
Yeah,
So-
we need to ask her. So, with your grandfather that I met, he kind of had an interesting life because
Yeah.
he was a Baptist minister his entire career.
Right. I believe, and he has a book he wrote about his life that everyone has a copy of. But I believe he started preaching when he was 12 years old, ordained when he was 16. So he was a Southern Baptist preacher for the majority of his life until he passed away.
And it was neat because your aunt, she collected a lot of his shirts that he used throughout his days of being a preacher, his ties, because he had several
Right.
ties.
Right.
And she collected them all and
Made quilts out of them and gave them to everybody. And it was a very thoughtful
yeah, it's
and
a really
meaningful
beautiful
thing.
memory. Yeah, in
Very.
a way to it has the dates of his
it
life
does have
on
the dates.
there, and it's just a very beautiful concept and idea. I never heard of anything like that, but it was a really neat way because a lot of times you go and you go back there and it's so sad that you're going through all their things and. You should give it away, but then there's also people who say, and especially today, that I'm not going to wear that. That's a
Right,
out of
right.
fashion. I don't want it. And,
Right.
But what she did was collect a memory that you could all talk about and share for the rest of your lives.
Right. We have the quilt, and pictures fade, even though we're in the digital age. Things could be lost, so it's nice to have that memory that you can look at every day. So
And one of my favorite stories from your grandfather was that as he was reaching a point to where two things was that when he was diagnosed with terminal cancer,
right, lung,
and we were engaged at the time,
right,
and I asked the family if they would be okay if he would perform the last ceremony, being ours,
right.
and I did that as a romantic gesture, thinking they'd tell me no, but they thought it was the greatest idea ever.
Let's do it now.
Yeah. So we got married in his hospital room. Two of our children sang your favorite song.
Yeah, Over the Rainbow. Well, I mean, it is a favorite. It's Over the Rainbow. It's a Hawaiian version. It's very beautiful. So.
Yeah, they did a pretty good job.
did
I
a
was really
beautiful
proud
job.
of them. You'll find it on YouTube somewhere, you know.
Oh, yeah, it's out there.
One of my friends joked with me that he said that I had put that video on there and I made it where people could put advertising on it. you
Right,
know.
right.
Well, it was a celebrity
Sponsor us.
wedding. So anyway, so that was a beautiful. I was told that even nurses were out there crying and things, you know. And,
And we had our wedding guests out in the hallway because they couldn't fit in the room. So,
and to show you how you change in life is that as serious as he felt that the sanctity of marriage was, we were able to convince him to wear a Hawaiian shirt.
That was a big deal.
We have that on our mantle.
That's in a picture. Yeah, it was a big deal for our family.
and he did that, and that was really. I think the Hawaiian shirt is part of our.
I think it's part of the quilt. Yeah.
and
It might be the center of it. So.
And so that was really cool. And so then also, as sad as it was after he passed away, and in the ceremony, a pastor was doing the service, and they were listing the survivors. And,
Well, not survivors,
or
but
the family.
Yeah.
The survivors, not. Yeah, I guess it wasn't like it was the Titanic.
right. It was the Titanic.
But the members of the family
Right.
still are with us. And as they got down to Deanne's name, which Deanne is her middle name,
Right.
her real first name,
Yes, Jimmy,
yes,
which I've grown to love.
with an I.
With an I.
Yeah.
And people try to spell it all kinds of different ways, but
But when somebody who doesn't know
Right.
reads Jimmy,
I think
and then they see Stevie, they're not sure what gender is what.
what
And
right.
so, at the service, when he read, his,
The eulogy
when he read it, and he said, and
survived by
Jimmy and
her.
his husband Stevie,
Right.
It's like we were, a same-sex couple,
yeah, right.
Yeah. So it was,
Which is whatever.
it was funny. He made us giggle. Everybody giggled.
Yeah,
a little
everybody.
bit,
It was a lot harder moment.
So it was kind of funny and a fun story to share. But he was neat. And the other thing that we got to do for him, because it became more difficult for him to even read or find other things to enjoy. And I went through this with my mom because when she passed away from breast cancer, she wanted to find things. She wanted to try to enjoy things. So she would send me out to get some of her favorite foods because she wanted to once again know what it was like to enjoy that before the end of her life. And one of his were these novels.
Right. Louis L'Amour.
But he had difficulty reading them
Right.
because he either couldn't stay awake with reading them or he had other pains in his life. So what we did was we found the audiobooks,
Right.
recorded them, made copies, and it was really cool.
It was really neat. It was special.
But he was a neat guy. But then you had on your what was your grandmother? What was she like?
Which one?
His wife.
Nani? Marjorie.
As a grandma.
Formal. Formal. She was. She was formal. She was very.
We've already established that because I
know
think
what
you've
else to
said it
say.
3 or 4 times. What do you mean formal? I think that's a lot of one of the reasons she's saying that because in our research we found out that there was one article that we found that said there are 5 different types of grandparents, and we'll do that in a couple of shows from now. But
She loved her family. She did. She loved being a pastor's wife all those many years. They have my dad and his 2 sisters, and I think my dad's the oldest. So anyway, yes, Nani enjoyed being a pastor's wife and was very involved in every church that my grandfather was a part of because he went around to different churches and started churches and stayed there for a few years and then moved on to another church. I wouldn't consider him maybe he was an evangelist or something like that. So he would also do, I think he did some like camp meetings and things like that. But he preached all over Oklahoma, Texas, in Arkansas, I think. But anyway, yeah,
So
Nani.
on your dad's side, you had no, that was your dad's parents,
Right.
and on your mother's side, you had Sugar, which
Right.
you named, but you can't remember why.
No, I'd have to ask my mom. I can't remember why I named her that, but maybe she called me that, and then I decided to call her that. But
What was Sugar like?
Sugar she was eccentric and creative, and she was crafty and
You mean crafty like she conned people
no,
out of stuff?
no, no, not crafty like tricky. No, no, she was fun. I had fun whenever we went over there. She was an only child in her life, and so I think it affected her parenting skills because she had my mom and my aunt. So
Who were pretty crafty themselves.
yeah, but not in the artsy way.
In a fun, kind of goofy way.
Yes. So anyway, Sugar was very, her name is Betty, but very, she was affectionate and loving, and give me hugs, and
She babysit you much?
I don't really recall a whole lot of going over there and being babysat. I mean, I have some memories of going over there, like. She had they lived in Broken Arrow, and they had this house. And in this house, they had a converted garage that was converted into her craft. It wasn't even a craft room. I would call it a craft, floor. It was, huge. And it was all her crafting stuff. She had 3 rooms and a bathroom in there. And I remember going in there, and because that's where one of the bathrooms were, and walking through going, God, there's a lot of crap in here. But, I mean, she was very talented and had all those supplies. That's where she kept everything away from the other part of the house. But
What kind of crafts does she do?
painting, quilting, sewing, miniature doll houses, tatting. Don't ask me what that is. Latch hook, baking. She entered her wares into the Tulsa State Fair. She won some things. She had lots of friends that were crafters, so she had a wide circle of extended friends and family that she was involved with.
Did she ever sit down with you wanting to pass it on, of how to learn how to do some of those
I'm trying
things?
to remember. Maybe it was sewing, or maybe it was quilting. I don't remember which. I think it was maybe quilting. But I didn't really show any interest at that age that she showed me. I was like, I was too cool. I was a teenager. I didn't care.
Yeah,
Didn't care to learn how to do stuff like that. So,
right.
but
Because you were the hippest of all the coolest people I've ever known.
Totally. Yeah, but and another memory I have of my grand. This may not be the most pleasant memory someone wants to hear, but it's funny.
Okay.
Because it's stuck in my head for all these years. But they had dogs too. Mm-hmm. And they had one dog that would sit in her lap all the time, and she would sit there and pick the fleas off the dog and
Oh, gosh.
I know, it's gross. And then break them in half to kill them. It was disgusting. And she would she had a magnifying glass that was kind of sat beside her on this extension thing so she could see the flea. My mom's going to kill me for saying this, but anyway.
What kind of dog
different.
was it?
I don't remember. It was little. It was a lap dog. I don't remember what kind of dog it was, but yeah, so she would do that. It was
Thank
gross.
goodness they've come up with medications and
Thank
collars
goodness.
to
'Cause
remedy
gross.
that. Yeah. Says I can remember as a kid, the dogs that would be at my grandparents' house because they kind of lived out in the country and
Yeah.
they'd have ticks. Big,
Oh, yeah, we
big,
didn't have ticks.
Big ticks.
Right, you? No.
And you'd have to pull those out and then, that would be, you step on
Gross.
them and it was.
Ew, just explode. Gross.
Right.
Grody.
Yeah. So she would pull out the little fleas.
Underneath the magnifying glass and pull them apart.
Well, she must have had some pretty good nails to do.
Yeah, that's where she had some beautiful, long, pretty nails. I mean, for a long time, I used to have nails like that. And so that's where, I got them from. So and they were like perfectly manicured. So yeah, she was fun.
Hi, I'm Stevie
I'm Deanne.
with Being
Being
Grandparents.
Grandparents.
It's a podcast we've been doing now for over 5
5
years.
years.
And it's been a lot of fun sharing stories with you. And one of the things that we love most is reading stories.
At least I do.
Definitely to our grandkids. So we decided that it's time for us to create our own book series. And we're starting the first one with kind of a true story.
It is a true story. It's a very sweet story about going golfing with Grandpa.
And it's called Golf with Grandpa.
Ow.
I took our grandson out for the first outing together, and at the end of the whole experience of him playing with the animals and chasing the geese and doing everything else, I said, "What was your favorite thing?" He said, "Well, spending time with you."
So sweet.
And you're going to find it on Amazon, Barnes & Noble,
where books are sold.
OKMoviestream.com, and wherever books are sold.
Thanks.
My mom always had thick, like I have thick nails. And
yeah, you do.
She would grow them, beautiful, take care of them. But I would never, could ever imagine her pulling a flea out of any of our pets. And as a matter of fact, she used to tell us that if we saw a cat or dog pooping, not to look at it because we'd get a stung in our eye. Another grandmaism.
Yeah, right. Definitely.
So, but she wasn't more of like a care provider kind of grandmother. She also had, you told me she did something else too that might be like, you would think a child would want to mess with or play with. That she had lots.
Well, I don't remember. I mean, she had miniature doll houses.
That's what I was
Yeah, she had
thinking.
miniature doll houses. So that was something that she started later in life. So
And were they like
very detailed.
real detailed? Yeah.
Yeah, the details. They had like the fabric on the couch and.
Were they patterned after anything, like the royal family or anything
Oh
like
my
that?
gosh, no, no, just something she came up with. So it was really, I like that part of it. I thought that was neat. So.
What was her relationship with your little papa then? Did they seem close in love?
Yeah, I
romantic?
mean, they seemed close to me. Yeah, I mean, you could ask my mom that question. Probably better answer that. But I mean, yeah, it seemed as though they were close. I mean, they would, like any other couple, would fuss about things, and all her craft stuff probably bothered him. So, but no, anytime I was ever around them, they seemed like that they were.
What did he
we're
do for a
close.
living?
Heating and air.
Heating and air?
Yeah, he worked for PSO for a while, and then I think he opened his own heating and air business until he retired, I think. And I think I'm more like him than anybody in my
In what regard?
humor.
So he was funny?
I think I'm more like my mom's side of the family as far as my
I mean,
humor
he
goes.
wasn't funny?
No, ha 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 ha. No, whatever. No, he had a good sense of humor. I had a few laughs with him, and there was a story that I've told you before, but I was stupid and decided to run away from home.
Oh, my God.
I know, shocking, right? Because I'm so.
Gosh. How did we ever get
I know, I'm
married?
so innocent and sweet.
Yeah.
It's me. So I was a
No,
junior
I'm
in high
innocent
school.
and sweet. You apparently
I'm
were not.
jaded.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I decided to stupidly run away from home, and I got pregnant, and then
Add more drama.
add more drama to the story. So, and then I ended up having to go home because
Go home. Where were you when you ran away?
Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't remember how long we were there for. Probably 9 months or something, 6
For
months,
what?
something like that.
Why does someone go from Tulsa to Chattanooga, Tennessee?
I don't know.
What is there?
Boyfriend.
Okay. Well,
Well, I
go on.
wasn't a boyfriend at the time. And then he was. I'd broken up, and long story.
He was your baby daddy.
Well, yeah, baby daddy. Exactly.
Okay.
That's not right. So, anyway, had to go home. He went to the boot camp, Navy. And then, I don't know, it was the first time I saw my grandparents when I got back, my mom's parents, little papa. And he told me that, and this, again, one of those things that was stuck in my head all these years, that he told me that if I ever felt like I needed to run away again, or if I needed help, he gave me a quarter and told him to call him. So that has been in my memory since I was, 18, 17 years old. So,
Well, there's a lot of symbolism to that, I think.
no, there definitely is. Yeah, I mean, it's,
Because why do you think he gave you a quarter?
well, he wanted me to probably feel like that I wasn't alone or that there was someone else there for me. So,
Because when you think about why do kids run away?
why?
Yeah.
Because they're mad at their parents.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're mad at their parents. They feel like they can't live with them anymore. They
Right.
can't spend another moment with
Yeah.
having to listen to whatever they're.
Right,
That's one of the great things about being a grandparent,
right.
because you know that as a grandparent, if you play your cards right, can be a part of most of the joy that a child gets to have.
Right.
Where as a parent, unfortunately, no matter what, and it's probably one of the same things that happen in marriages too, friendships, the longer you're together, the more you're together, if you're not constantly working towards making that relationship, be successful, there are going to be times when you rock the boat. And people are going to get upset, and
Right.
there's going to be some feelings hurt. And, I think that probably when our parents, mine and yours, the generations, another, I guess, lesson of generational changes is that when they were kids, they just did what their parents said to do.
Right. Yeah.
They just did it until they could get out of the house, which was normally 18, and moved on.
Right.
Now, when I know I was the kind of kid that was raised that I could have a little piece of my own mind, and I might present it every now and then to my parents. you
Right.
know. Not to the level that we get today
Right.
from kids and seeing things, but I think that there is that happens. And what your grandfather was saying was that, hey, when you don't think you can talk to your parents,
Right.
and you feel like some kid that wants to knock you up has the answers.
Knock you up.
Well, that's what happened.
Oh my God. Yes. That's what happened.
Why don't you call me first?
Yes. Yes. Right.
You
Exactly.
know, now if you'd have had that quarter beforehand, obviously you wouldn't have the beautiful daughter that you had today.
Right. Exactly.
But
Right. No, I'm not.
but that's what he was saying. It was,
Yeah,
it's
it was.
symbol. It was a symbol of love in the sense that, like you said, you didn't have to feel like you were alone. That you had someone else that would listen to you, that would take a moment to see your side. And I think that's what happens in any loving relationship when it comes down to when there is disgruntled feelings, is it the other one isn't taking the moment to look at the other side.
Yeah.
And if you look at the other side for just a little bit, that could clear it up and help you figure out what needs to be done in order to resolve the situation. And that's what that quarter,
Symbolizes.
symbolize. Now, can that work today? No,
No.
because you first couldn't find a phone booth.
No. I don't remember the last time I saw one.
Second, if you did, it's probably more like 55, 75 cents.
Or you just use your credit card.
Yeah, and now kids want the grandparent to buy them a cell phone.
That's true. iPhone 11
So yeah,
at 6 years old.
right, yeah, and then you gotta,
Please.
yeah, then you gotta, get it updated every couple of years, and and it's
Yeah.
just.
Need the latest version.
So as beautiful a sentiment as that was that your grandfather offered, it seems like
He
it's
wouldn't buy
getting,
me a cell phone.
it's getting more difficult today. When your grandfather, Little Pop, did, was he the kind of, you said was he joked with you?
Oh, yeah. He joked and laughed.
Played with you? Were
Yeah.
you guys affectionate too?
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
the-
yeah. Oh, yeah. He was fun. He had the best laugh. I remember it right now. He's had the best laugh, and he was just silly and goofy and funny, and he had the best he made on Christmas. He would make dumplings. They have the best dumplings I've ever had. Chicken and dumplings. They're amazing.
Well, yours are pretty good too.
Mine are biscuits that are just. I cheat. He didn't. So, but thank you.
Yeah, it wasn't a sexual reference either. So it's like,
I wasn't even thinking that.
okay, thank you. So anyway, well, I love when we do this and we start to do the research, and as we talk about, especially when we get into the episodes themselves, I feel like I learn a lot more about you.
Yeah.
You know, and more of your history, because these are things that we've never really talked about before.
No. I don't know why. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm glad it's kind of cathartic. So.
Yeah, and that's what we hope that you guys will take time to share. You know, you can email us, write us, whatever, to
Follow us on Twitter.
BN Grandparents, the letter B and the letter N.
Capitalized.
Grandparents at gmail.com, or you can go to our website at bngrandparents.com, where you'll find our Facebook, Twitter, all that kind of thing, and share with us things. You know, if you send us a recorded message, we'll play that back, and later hopefully we'll be able to put phone calls on and do other things so that we can have interviews. And we do plan in the future too to everything from finding out, you know, crafts that you could do with your grandchild,
Right.
And health, interview different folks within the health society so they could tell us how to give better snacks to our grandkids, and then just in general, the goal, and we want you to be with us, is to find a way just to be better grandparents, how to get along with our own kids in helping them raise theirs.
Sounds great. I'm excited.
Yeah, we'll see you next time.
Thank you, guys.